The air at midnight feels like a soft exhalation, as if the world itself has paused to listen. Darkness drapes over every sound, leaving only the gentle rhythm of your own breath. You lie still, suspended between waking and dreaming, where even your thoughts seem to melt into the silence like lanterns drifting away. You become aware of impermanence in the hush. Each inhale expands, then contracts, echoing the rise and fall of clouds that drift slowly across an empty sky. A single candle's flame flickers in your mind's eye, and you see how its shape changes with every breath. In this moment, you touch the essence of no self, not an absence of being, but the vivid freedom that comes when there is nothing fixed to hold on to. The memory of a monk sweeping fallen leaves by lantern light drifts through your senses. He moves with the same gentle care you now feel in your body, each sweep a brush against the earth, each leaf a reminder that nothing remains forever. As he works, his mind is empty, free from regret or yearning, simply present to the bronze gleam of autumn's gift. You begin to notice how your mind clings to a single face, replaying words and moments as if each thought were a lifeline. But thoughts rise and fall like ripples on a pond, and if you watch without judgment, they settle back into stillness. Clouds drift, leaves fall, breath comes and goes. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? There is a spaciousness in that question, a quiet invitation to rest beyond thought. You allow your heart to soften around the edges of longing. With every exhale, you release another fragment of attachment until you feel the gentle weightlessness of pure presence. Now, in the deep hush of night, you understand that the person who won't leave your mind is both guest and teacher. Their image arises like mist at dawn, insubstantial, luminous here and then gone. You learn that interbeing means we are never alone. Each encounter is a shared breath, a fleeting gift. As you sink deeper into this awareness, the boundaries between self and other soften. You become the sweep of the monk's broom, the drifting cloud, the silent lantern flame. You become the question itself, echoing in the stillness. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? And here, in the space beyond, thought you find the calm that comes when you simply rest, untethered, open at home within the vast unfolding night. You feel the slow unfolding of dependent origination, like petals opening in the dark, each thought arising from countless causes and conditions, each moment linked in a tapestry without beginning or end. In the stillness behind your eyelids, you sense how every memory of that person springs from 1,000 interwoven threads, a glance, a word, a shared silence. Release one thread, and the pattern shifts. Release them all, and what remains is the boundless loom itself. In your inner eye, you see an empty teacup left on a wooden table at dawn, its surface reflecting the pale light of morning. No matter how many times you pour tea into it, the cup does not cling to what you've given. It simply receives, then lets go, offering space for something new. You are that cup now, open, receptive, unburdened by what has passed. A soft breeze moves through the courtyard of your mind, brushing against invisible walls and stirring the dust of old regrets. You notice how regret is nothing more than a thought loop running on memories of what cannot be changed. With each breath, You allow that breeze to carry away another mote of longing until the courtyard lies empty, peaceful, and bright with possibility. You recall the image of clouds drifting across a mountain peak. No effort, no direction, only the effortless flow of nature's law. So too do your thoughts pass. They arrive, hover, and then dissolve into the open sky of awareness. You do not need to chase them or grasp them. Simply watch as they sail by, and in their passing, you taste the freedom of true emptiness, not a void in your being, but the fertile silence from which all blossoms bloom. As the night deepens, you hear the distant sound of water dripping into a stone basin. One drop, then another, each distinct, yet part of the same stream. You lean into that rhythm, letting it guide you back to your breath. In the space between droplets, there is a pause, a gentle reminder that both sound and silence carry wisdom. You sense attachment loosening its grip. The echo of laughter shared the weight of unspoken words. The ache of absence all flowed away like lanterns set adrift on a river. Without those lanterns, you see the water's dark surface shimmering with starlight. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only the mirror of your own stillness, reflecting the vastness of the night. Invite your mind to rest here in this mirror of pure presence. Let compassion rise for yourself, the one who has clung and ached and dreamed. Offer kindness to the part of you that resists letting go, and watch how resistance softens like frost under the sun. You need not force release. Simply turn your attention toward gentleness, and release follows naturally. In this quiet, you glimpse true interbeing, the understanding that self and other are never separate, that every breath you take is woven with the breath of the world. The person who visits your mind is not outside you, but within the vast field of awareness you now inhabit. Their image washes across your consciousness like light across water, beautiful, transient, and part of the whole. Rest here for as long as you need. No rushing, no striving, only the slow, soft unfolding of peace within your heart. And when you are ready, allow your awareness to merge fully, with the night becoming nothing more than the gentle rise and fall of breath, a silent witness to the great mystery of presence itself. A distant cricket's chirp threads through the silence, weaving a pattern of sound and stillness. You breathe in time with its rhythm, noticing how each chirp depends on unseen causes, the warmth of evening air, the hush of the grass, the subtle pulse of life beneath your skin. In this moment, you grasp the teaching of dependent origination. Nothing arises in isolation, and nothing truly ends. Every sound you hear is part of a larger melody. You imagine a single snowflake resting on your palm, its crystalline form, intricate yet fleeting. Under your gentle warmth, it begins to melt, dissolving into droplets that trickle away. The snowflake had no fixed essence. It was simply water, shaped by circumstance, ready to return to formlessness. Like the snowflake, every thought of that person formed and dissolved within you, never separate from the changing conditions of your heart. A Zen master once sat before a roaring fire, offering no commentary as flames danced. A student asked him, "Why do you not teach?" The master pointed to the fire and said, "Speak to me of fire." The student fell silent, realizing that words are often less profound than direct experience. You too need no words, now only the living flame of awareness illuminating this quiet space within. Notice how your mind may flicker with desire to hold on to replay moments, to rewrite endings. Yet each replay dims the present moment's light. What remains when you let that desire rest? Feel the warmth of awareness itself, steady and kind, free from the need to control. You settle into that warmth, offering gentle curiosity to whatever arises. Whether it is memory longing or simply the drift of breath, you greet each with the same calm presence. Here, beyond grasping and pushing away, you discover the simplicity of being unchained, unmeasured, and completely at home. A pale moonbeam slips through the silence, painting your closed eyelids with a soft glow. In its gentle light, you perceive the truth of interbeing. Every ray of illumination journeys from the stars, the sky, and the curve of the earth before reaching you. Your sense of separation dissolves as you become both the moonbeam and the darkness it travels through. You recall the image of an ancient pine tree at the edge of a cliff, its roots clinging to rock, swaying yet unbroken in the wind. Like that tree, you have endured storms of longing and storms of loss, learning resilience through every gust. Yet resilience is not rigid. It is the capacity to bend without breaking, to receive the force of life and let it shape you with humility. In the hush, you feel gratitude for the ache itself, for the teaching carried within it. Every pang of remembering that person opens your heart like a bud pushed by spring's warmth. Without the ache, you would not know the depth of compassion that now wells inside you. A Zen anecdote comes to mind, a master and disciple standing by a river. The master dipped a cup beneath the current and drank without hesitation. The disciple asked, "How do you drink so fearlessly?" The master replied, "The water flows through me. I do not cling to its edge." You too can drink fully of each moment, letting experience flow through you without holding fast. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You sit quietly and notice the gentle pulse at your temples, the slow stretch of your limbs beneath the blankets, the tender clarity at the center of awareness. All else has fallen away, and here you rest in the pure unfolding of now. A gentle wind stirs, carrying the faint scent of pine and earth through the stillness of your mind. You notice how each inhalation gathers the world around you, the scent of needles, the warmth of distant soil. The hush between each rustle and each exhalation releases it back into the vast night. This is the dance of dependent origination in action. Inhale, exhale, arise, dissolve. Each moment, a pulse in the endless rhythm of life. In your mind's eye, you see a spider's web spun between two mossy stones. Each silken thread glistens with dew tensile, yet transparent, woven without haste. A single drop of water slides along a strand, distorting the pattern for a moment, before falling away, and the web returns to its elegant stillness. You realize your thoughts are like those droplets, brief distortions on the fine threads of awareness, falling away to reveal the delicate architecture of your true nature. A student once approached a wise teacher, lamenting that memories of a past friendship haunted her sleep. The teacher led her to a clear pond and asked her to toss a pebble into its center. Ripples spread outward until the surface regained its mirror-like calm. Do you see, the teacher said, how the pond always returns to its own stillness? You too are that pond. No matter how many memories ripple across your surface, your core remains untouched, reflecting the moon of awareness with perfect clarity. Now invite your mind to rest in that reflective stillness. Let each thought be a passing ripple, acknowledged but not clung to. Feel the spacious water of your being, deep silent whole. In this space, the person who lingers in your mind becomes a gentle wave in a boundless sea, neither lost nor held, simply part of the infinite dance of presence. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in the simple answer, the transparent mirror of now free from shape and story, open to every breath, every whisper of the wind, every flicker of moonlight. Here, in the quiet reflection of your own awareness, you discover the timeless peace that has always been yours. A distant toll of temple bells drifts through the night, each note resonating like a heartbeat across the valley of your mind. You feel the vibration in your chest, a living reminder that all sounds, each bell, each breath, arise from the same stillness that holds them. In this resonance, you perceive emptiness not as absence, but as the vast space in which every tone can ring pure. You recall the Zen image of a boat carried by a river. It neither steers nor resists, yet arrives at its destination through effortless harmony with the current. So too do your thoughts glide along the stream of awareness. No need for force, no need for control. Simply trust the flow, and you find yourself exactly where you need to be. A gentle warmth spreads across your face as if sunlight has slipped through the darkness. You realize this warmth is born from compassion for yourself, who has held on tightly for the person who has lingered like a ghost in your heart, and for every fleeting feeling that has found a home here. Compassion is the oil that soothes friction. With it, the gears of your mind turn quietly without grinding. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You listen as the final echoes of the bells fade, and in that silence the question becomes the answer. You are the silent bell, the empty river, the open sky. The person you remember is not lost, but transformed. No longer a weight on your heart, but a gentle breeze that stirs the vastness within. As you drift toward the threshold between wakefulness and sleep, allow these teachings to settle like snowflakes on a quiet field, each one perfect, each one vanishing into the whole. Rest here in the soft aftermath of insight, where nothing needs to happen and everything simply is. A lone firefly hovers in the darkness, its tiny light pulsing with gentle life. You watch as it flutters, unaware of its own glow, simply dancing in harmony with the night. In its unassuming presence, you see the essence of no self. The firefly does not strive to shine. It simply shines, because that is its nature. Your breath aligns with its flicker, each inhale kindling awareness, each exhale releasing any spark of attachment. Memories of that person drift like moths toward the light, but here in the spacious dusk, they find no grip. They circle, pause, then drift away into the boundless dark. A Zen master once released a lantern into the sky and said, "Let go and watch beauty ascend." You imagine your thoughts carried in that lantern's flame, floating upward until they merge with the vast canopy of stars. In that merging, individuality dissolves, and what remains is the radiant field that holds every point of light. Invite your heart to expand into that field. Feel the gentle glow of your own awareness, steady and unwavering, illuminating without effort. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only the soft, persistent luminescence of pure presence guiding you deeper into the embrace of sleep. A soft hush settles as the firefly's light fades into the wider darkness, leaving only the velvet stillness of night. You sense the teaching of emptiness here, not a barren void, but a silent field pregnant with possibility, where every spark of awareness has room to shine. In the space beyond form, you perceive the subtle pulse of your own being, a tender rhythm uniting mind and body. Each breath is a wave rising and falling on the shore of now carrying memories in its foam, yet touching only the present moment. You rest beneath that wave, unshaken by its passing. You recall a Zen story of a sculptor chiseling a block of stone, searching for the hidden Buddha within. With every stroke, chips fall away until the enlightened form emerges untouched by the dust. So too, with each release of attachment, your true nature is revealed, a luminous silence beyond all stories. Feel the gentle resonance of that silence in your bones, like distant bells echoing in a mountain temple. No thought can disturb it. No longing can erode it. This is the ground of your own mind, solid, yet open, still, yet alive. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? The answer lives in this moment, the boundless heart that welcomes all things and needs nothing in return. Here, in the vast simplicity of being, you are free to drift into sleep's gentle embrace, cradled by the timeless peace that rests at the center of your own awareness. A slow breeze stirs the canvas of your mind, carrying with it the scent of distant pines and the quiet promise of dawn. You recognize the teaching of impermanence shimmering in that breeze. Every fragrance drifts and lingers, and then is carried onward, never clinging to any place. You too are carried through breaths, through thoughts, through the turning of night into morning, touched by each whisper, yet remaining unbound. An image forms of a lone crane standing at the water's edge, poised on one leg, utterly still. The surface of the pond reflects its form perfectly, as if bird and reflection share a single being. Should the pond's surface ripple, the image would dissolve, yet the crane would remain serene in its balance. You are both the bird and its reflection, grounded in stillness, yet dancing with each ripple of awareness. Invite yourself now to rest in that equilibrium. Feel the gentle buoyancy of presence beneath you, supporting steady, unshaken by passing thoughts. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only the graceful balance of now, where breath and silence meet, and you drift peacefully toward the threshold of sleep. As you drift further into this luminous stillness, you sense the truth of dependent origination. Once more, each sensation you feel, warmth against your skin, the soft weight of your limbs, arises from countless interlocking elements, from the air that fills your lungs to the gentle thrum of your heartbeat. There is no single you holding these together. Rather, you are the unfolding of a vast, intricate web alive in every moment. In your mind's eye, you see the Zen image of ink spreading across rice paper. A single drop touches the surface, and the ink blossoms outward in organic patterns, unplanned yet perfectly harmonious. You understand that your thoughts, like that ink, can expand or contract, cloud or clear. Without effort, allow them to settle back into the white expanse of awareness, where they leave behind no stain. Notice how the boundary between observer and observed softens. You do not merely watch your breath. You are the breath itself, coursing through the body and mind in a seamless loop. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in the simple clarity that you are both the whispering wind and the space it moves through, a silent dance with no partners, no steps, no end. Feel gratitude for this gift of presence, the slow crescendo of calm rising within you, unhindered by thought. Let kindness bloom for every part of yourself that still clings, for every memory that trembles at the edges of awareness. With each tender exhale, you honor these echoes, then release them, returning fully to the boundless field of now. Here, in this profound openness, sleep finds you gently, no struggle, no striving, only the soft unfolding of rest within the ever-present heart. A faint rustle drifts through the darkness, as if distant bamboo stalks bow in a secret breeze. You become aware of the interconnectedness of all things: the bamboo, the wind, the night sky, and yourself woven into a single living tapestry. In this tapestry, every movement is both cause and effect, a continuous loop of giving and receiving. You recall a Zen anecdote of two monks on a mountain path. One monk became angry at the other's slow pace and shouted, "Why do you walk so slowly?" The other simply smiled and replied, "Why do you rush?" So in that wordless exchange, both monks learned that the journey is neither fast nor slow. It simply is. You too rest in the natural pace of now, neither chasing nor resisting, simply being. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You sit quietly, feeling the gentle pulse of life beneath your skin, the soft arch of each breath, the echo of moonlight on a silent pond. Without clinging, without aversion, you emerge into the simple truth of this moment, awake, aware, and ready to drift into sleep's embrace. A hush settles as the bamboo's soft murmur fades into the night, leaving only the gentle stillness of your own presence. You notice the tender gap between breaths, the space where life itself unfolds, silent yet vivid. In that space, you touch the teaching of emptiness, not a void, but the fertile ground from which every moment springs forth, and into which every moment returns. You imagine a single petal floating on a pond's surface, untouched by currents, yet carried wherever the water leads. It neither resists nor directs its journey. It simply rests in trust. So too do your thoughts and memories of that person float across your awareness, recognized, honored, and then allowed to drift onward. A Zen master once wrote a poem about the moon and the finger that points to it. If you fixate on the finger, you miss the brilliance of the moon itself. Let go of the finger, the thought, the memory, the the craving, and turn your gaze to the luminous presence that remains. Here you rest in the quiet glow of awareness, deeper than any thought, wider than any feeling. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only this gentle knowing, soft as twilight, that you are home within the unfolding vastness of now, where sleep blooms naturally from the peace you have cultivated. A soft stillness settles over your awareness, deeper than any you have known, so far as you sink into the vast expanse of night. In this deeper silence, you perceive the subtle rhythm of your own heartbeat, a gentle drum echoing through the forest of your being. Each thump, both origin and destination of every thought. As you follow its pulse, you begin to feel how each sensation arises from an intricate dance of body and mind. The flutter of a nerve ending the cool brush of air across your cheek, the quiet cascade of blood through your veins. This is the teaching of dependent origination in its purest form, every experience woven from countless invisible threads. Imagine now a sprawling banyan tree, its aerial roots descending like silent pillars from branches high above. Each root seeks the earth in its own time and place, yet all arise from the same living trunk. You see yourself as that tree rooted in the stillness of awareness, your thoughts and feelings branching outward, seeking ground, and then returning once nourished. There is no part of you that stands apart. Every longing, every memory, every quiet breath is part of one seamless living whole. In your mind's eye, you witness an oil lamp burning in a darkened hall, its flame riding on currents too subtle to see. A single breath stirs the air, and the flame wavers, then steadies again. The lamp does not cling to perfect stillness. It dances wherever the wind guides it, yet always returns to its own luminous center. You too are like the lamp, easily swayed by the breeze of thoughts, the drafts of emotion, yet always capable of returning to your own gentle flame of presence. A Zen master once instructed his students to carry a bowl of water without spilling a single drop. They walked the length of the courtyard, tense and cautious, until one student relaxed and carried the bowl as if it were an extension of his own hand. No effort, no hesitation, only fluid harmony. In that moment, he realized that true mindfulness is not rigid vigilance, but an open, adaptable awareness that moves with life rather than against it. Feel now how your own mind can carry the weight of memory and longing without spilling if you soften into presence and trust in the natural flow. You begin to notice the soft hum of life around you, a distant owl calling, once the rhythmic thrum of insects in the undergrowth, the muted rustle of leaves stirred by an invisible breeze. Each sound emerges from the same silence that underlies your breath. Each breath carries the memory of those sounds within it. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You lean into that question as though it were a warm spring and feel its waters envelop you in compassionate clarity. Now, allow your mind to drift to the image of a stone garden, raked gravel, patterned in ripples around moss-covered boulders. The ripples converge and diverge, tracing patterns that shift with the seasons, yet always return to symmetry. Your thoughts, like those ripples, arise and fade, yet the gravel itself remains quiet, unshaken, ever present. Rest in that gravel, the unchanging ground beneath the form of every thought. A final invitation to reflect drifts into your awareness. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Let your mind rest in the fertile pause following that question. In this silent space, beyond patterns of cause and effect, you taste the sweetness of emptiness, not an absence, but the fullness of possibility. Here, in the boundless garden of your own being, sleep blooms naturally. You drift into a deeper stillness, carried on the breath of interbeing, cradled by the timeless presence that holds all things. A hush settles deeper now, as if the very air around you has learned to breathe in harmony with your own rhythm. You feel the pulse of impermanence in every molecule. The warmth that caressed your skin a moment ago has already begun to shift, blending with the cool embrace of night. In this living flux, you sense the teaching of impermanence, not as sorrow, but as liberation. Each sensation arrives, glimmers, and slips away, making room for the next to arise. In your inner vision, you see a lotus blooming atop still water. Its petals unfold slowly, dissolving the darkness above the murk below. When the flower fully opens, it does not cling to its peak. It simply radiates its fragrance before gently wilting back into the earth. You are that lotus rising from the depths of your own mind, opening fully into awareness, then returning gracefully to silence without regret or fear. A Zen master once held out a single cherry blossom and told his student, "See how it blooms, for only a day, yet its beauty remains in the heart forever." The student realized that beauty and sorrow are inseparable. The moment of opening carries within it the seed of fading. You too carry this truth in your breath, each exhale honoring the fragility of life, each inhale renewing the miracle of presence. Invite yourself now to rest in the space between petal and pond, between thought and stillness. Notice any trace of tension in your shoulders or jaw, and softly release it like a petal falling into calm water. Feel how the surface of your mind grows smooth once the ripple has settled. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You settle into that question as though it were a warm harbor, allowing its shores to enfold you in profound ease. Here, the boundaries between self and other dissolve. You are both the lotus and the water, the blossom and the breeze. In this unity, you drift naturally towards sleep, cradled by the gentle melody of impermanence and presence entwined. A deep, velvety quiet enfolds you, as if the world itself has drawn its breath inward to meet yours. In this tender stillness, you feel the teaching of no self unfold. The sense of I you once held so tightly now softens, melting like morning frost under the gentle warmth of awareness. You notice how every thought I remember, I feel, I long arises and dissolves in the same space, never truly separate from the whole tapestry of being. Before you, an empty tea bowl waits on a low wooden table, its smooth walls reflecting the faint glow of a distant lantern. No matter how many times tea is poured in, the bowl does not claim the liquid as its own. It simply offers itself pure and unguarded. You are that bowl now, open, receptive, unburdened by memories or desires, ready to receive whatever each breath brings. A monk once carried a heavy satchel of stones for years, believing it made him strong. One morning, He set it down to rest and felt a lightness he had never known. His posture straightened. His steps became fluid, and his heart expanded with surprise. In that moment, he realized the stones were never his strength. They were merely weights he had mistaken for power. You too can set down the stones of attachment, the stories you tell yourself, the memories you replay, and discover the effortless grace that remains. Notice how your body shifts against the blankets, the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the subtle warmth pooling in your abdomen. Each sensation is a living expression of interbeing breath drawn from the air, warmth birthed by countless cells' presence woven through every fiber of your being. There is no boundary here, only an alive, breathing web of life in which you are both thread and tapestry. What settles in the heart when every grasp has loosened? Invite yourself to dwell in that question, letting it echo softly through your awareness, like a bell heard in the distance. Feel any last traces of tension dissolve, as though a gentle wind has swept across a calm pond, leaving its surface smooth and luminous. Now rest in the gentle unfolding of this moment, breath, body, and mind in seamless harmony. You do not need to seek or strive. Simply be the empty bowl, the freed monk, the living web of interbeing. In this profound ease, you drift ever closer to sleep's embrace, cradled by the luminous silence that you have always carried within. A soft murmur of awakening stars drifts into your consciousness, as if the heavens themselves are breathing in unison with you. In their distant glow, you sense the teaching of impermanence writ across the cosmos, each star born blazing and dying in a cycle that stretches beyond your mind's capacity to grasp. Yet within that vast dance, there is neither loss nor gain, only the elegant flow of existence. You imagine yourself seated on a mossy ledge beneath the night sky, the cool earth beneath you, steady and unwavering. Every breath you draw is a thread connecting you to the cosmic tapestry. Inhalation brings the pulse of galaxies. Exhalation returns your presence to the silent void. There is no separation between you and the starlight. You are both observer and observed, light and darkness entwined. A Zen master once gazed at the sky with a student and asked, "How many stars are there?" The student tried to count, but soon despaired. The master smiled and said, "Why seek a number when you can rest in the beauty?" In that moment, the student understood that true wisdom lies not in grasping every detail, but in allowing yourself to be held by the mystery itself. Invite yourself now to rest in the mystery of this moment. Feel the weight of your body settling, the gentle pull of gravity grounding you, the quiet acknowledgement that everything you need already exists within this breath. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in the answer that echoes in the spaces between stars' presence. Turn your attention inward to the soft throb of your heart, a universe in miniature, each beat a testament to life's unfathomable grace. Allow any final tendrils of tension to dissolve as though the night sky gently draws them up and disperses them among the constellations. You are free to rest here, neither reaching nor resisting, simply merging with the boundless calm that extends beyond thought. In this sacred union of soul and sky, sleep finds you easily, carrying you into dreams, where impermanence is not fear, but the gentle promise of renewal. And as your consciousness drifts, remember the question that guides you home. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? The still radiant presence that has always been yours. A cool hush settles around you as the night deepens, carrying with it the subtle teaching of interbeing every element of this moment. Your steady breath, the distant call of an owl, the soft press of darkness against your skin, arises only through the intricate weave of conditions. Like threads in an immense tapestry, each sensation depends on countless unseen strands, the air that stirs the silence, that holds the life force pulsing within your veins. In your inner vision, you see a spider delicately weaving its web between two branches, each filament placed with quiet precision. The web trembles as dew gathers on its strands, then shakes free as a butterfly brushes past. The spider does not lament the loss, nor cling to what was. It simply continues its work, ever receptive to the next moment's offerings. You, too, can move through experience like the spider, drawing from all that life presents, releasing what no longer serves, and trusting in the creativity of each new breath. A Zen story unfolds before your mind's eye. A worn wooden bridge stretched across a silent river where two monks met, one hurrying to cross the other, lingering in contemplation. The hurried monk almost collided with the still one until he paused and bowed. In that gentle bow, both monks discovered the sacred in the pause itself, the bridge becoming not a means to an end, but a living presence beneath their feet. Here you stand on the bridge of now no need to hurry, no need to linger, simply resting in the radiant stillness of this very step. Feel the soft expansion of your belly. With each inhale, the gentle contraction with each exhale. And notice how these movements echo the river below, flowing ceaselessly, shaping the banks, then carrying waters onward. Your body is both river and bank, the flow of sensation and the silent support that holds it. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only the ever-present flow itself, free from story, free from grasp, free to dissolve into the boundless night. Allow your awareness to widen, embracing not only your own being, but the space around you. The faint outlines of trees beyond your window, the hush of shadows, gathering the promise of dawn, hidden just beyond the horizon. In this open field of awareness, you discover the luminous ground from which every thought and feeling arises. No commentary is needed here, only silent witnessing, pure and simple. Rest now in that witnessing. Let the woven tapestry of night wrap you in quiet comfort. With each gentle breath, you sink deeper into the web of interbeing held by the same vast mystery that animates every star, every leaf, every heartbeat. And as sleep's soft veil descends, you are both the dreamer and the dream, merging with the peaceful expanse that has always been your true home. A whisper of wind stirs the stillness once more, carrying with it the faint rustle of unseen leaves. You sense impermanence in that sound. Each leaf's edge catches, the breeze trembles, then falls only to nourish the earth and feed new life unseen. In this cycle, you find freedom, knowing that every experience you hold will in time transform and return to the source from which it came. In the dim glow of your inner landscape, you picture a lotus pond at dawn. Mist hovers above the water's surface like a silken veil, and each blossom opens with impeccable timing, Never early, never late, but exactly when conditions align. A single bee alights upon a petal, pausing in perfect stillness before drifting away. You realize that, like the lotus, your heart unfolds in harmony with life's rhythms, not forced, not withheld, but blossoming naturally in the space of awareness. A Zen story drifts into your consciousness. A master and disciple stood before a great bell. The disciple asked, "Master, how can I awaken from this dream of separation?" The master struck the bell once, and its pure resonance filled the valley. "Become this bell," he replied. "Let your true nature ring out without hesitation." You feel the resonance echoing within your own chest, each beat a bell tone, calling you home, to presence. Notice how thoughts of that person ripple through your mind, like stones dropped into still water. Yet here, in this deep receptivity, each ripple settles quickly, leaving the surface smooth and reflective. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in that question as if it were a sacred lantern, its gentle light illuminating the vast expanse of your being. Feel the warmth of compassion expand from your heart, softening any residual tightness. Offer kindness to the part of you that still reaches and clings, acknowledging its longing, and then releasing it with a gentle sigh. In this moment, there is no separate you to suffer and no other to blame, only the seamless flow of interbeing, where every breath you take is both gift and giver. Now surrender fully to the night's embrace. Let your awareness dissolve into the quiet tapestry of breath, body, and mind. In this boundless field of presence, sleep arrives as naturally as dawn follows, dusk cradling you in its tender arms without effort, without striving, simply carrying you home. A soft vibration hums beneath your awareness, as if the earth itself breathes alongside you. In that subtle pulse, you perceive the teaching of dependent origination anew. Every vibration, every sensation of warmth, every whisper of sound arises from countless conditions converging in this precise moment. Your body, the air, the quiet hush of night, all weave together in an unbroken symphony of being. In your mind's eye, you see a stone lantern nestled among moss and ferns, its hollow interior glowing faintly from a hidden flame. Rain has fallen hours ago, yet the lantern's light remains steady, unaffected by dripping leaves or scuttling insects. It simply holds space for the flame-offering form without clinging to its contents. You are that lantern now steady, calm, offering presence without resisting what flows through you. A Zen tale drifts to you. A monk once poured tea into a student's cup until it overflowed, spilling onto the table. The startled student cried, "Stop, it's full." The monk smiled and said, "Like this cup, your mind is full of the past and future. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" Feel yourself emptying each breath. Releases a memory, a worry, a flicker of desire, until only open space remains. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were a gentle waterfall cascading you into deeper stillness. Notice how the water of awareness flows effortlessly, carving new channels of peace in the terrain of your heart. Invite warmth and compassion to settle over any last vestiges of tension. offer soft forgiveness to yourself, the one who clings, the one who hurts, the one who dreams. Each act of kindness is a small lantern in the night, illuminating your path toward restful slumber. Here, in the fertile silence of no self and boundless presence, you are both flame and lantern water and stone breath and breathless space. In this seamless dance of interbeing, sleep approaches like a gentle tide, inevitable soothing, and wholly at one with the vast calm you now inhabit. A gentle hush envelops you, as though the entire night has drawn its breath inward, holding sacred space for your own inhalation. In this reverent pause, you sense the teaching of impermanence in every quiver of the air. Nothing here is fixed or permanent. Each molecule shifts in endless exchange, weaving the tapestry of this moment and dissolving into the next. You become aware that your very presence is a convergence of past breaths, distant starlight, and the steady pulse of life beneath your skin. In your inner vision, you see a solitary reed bending over a quiet stream. Its slender form yields easily to the current, never breaking, always resilient. When the water surges, the reed dips low. When it recedes, the reed springs upright, an elegant dance of flexibility and strength. You, too, embody that balance, yielding to the flow of thought and sensation, yet rooted in the deep stillness of awareness. A Zen anecdote emerges. A teacher guided her students to cross a swollen river by stepping on shifting stones. Many stumbled, their eyes fixed on each unstable rock. One student closed her eyes, trusted her balance, and moved with calm assurance. When she reached the other side, the teacher asked, "Did you fear the fall?" The student replied, "I was the river and the stone, both there was nowhere to fall." Allow yourself now to be both current and rock, flowing through experiences without losing the grounding of your true nature. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question as though it were a smooth riverbed carrying you forward in gentle motion. Feel your breath settle into an unhurried rhythm. Each cycle an assurance that you need nothing more than what is present right now. In this flowing stillness, sleep comes as naturally as night follows, day carrying you into its tender depths. A quiet warmth stirs at the center of your chest, as if a single ember glows softly in the hollow of your ribs. You sense the teaching of interbeing woven through that glow. Your heart's warmth arises from countless influences, cells working in harmony. The air that nourishes the beat of every star you've ever seen. In this luminous space, you recognize that your being is not a solitary flame, but part of an endless sun. In your mind's eye, you observe a stream of molten metal poured into a mold. At first, the liquid blazes bright and fierce. Then it cools, hardens, and takes shape. You realize your own mind works similarly, heated by longing or memory, malleable by its focus, and then set into patterns of feeling and thought. Yet beneath those patterns lies the unshakable core, the clear, solid presence that holds every emotion, every ripple of desire without being defined by them. A Zen master once asked a student to carry a bowl of water from the riverbank to the temple gate without spilling a single drop. The student tiptoed across slippery stones, eyes downcast, so afraid of losing the water that each step was stiff and jerky. The master smiled and said, "Next time walk as if you are the river. Let the water guide you. You too can let your awareness flow effortlessly, carrying memory and need without fear, trusting that each step is supported by the whole. Invite your attention now to settle like settled metal, cooling into tranquil form. Feel your breath become the river that both carries and contains you, neither clinging nor resisting. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in the abiding calm of that unspoken answer, and allow yourself to drift gently into the silent embrace of sleep. A pale glow filters through the hush as your breath settles into its deepest layer, silent, effortless, as if drawn by the magnetism of stillness itself. In this fertile quiet, you touch the teaching of emptiness, not a hollow void, but the field that allows every form, every thought, every sensation to arise and fall away without residue. You feel yourself dissolving into that field, a soft silhouette against an infinite sky. In your inner vision, you see a fisherman casting his net across a mirror-calm lake. He pulls it back gently, gathering only what water drips freely, the fish that choose to swim in the small leaf that floats along. He does not strain or force. He remains open to the lake's own offerings. Like him, you need only release expectation and let experience come naturally, receiving what arises and letting the rest slip through the mesh of awareness. A Zen master once invited a student to hold a single grain of rice while reciting the entire Heart Sutra. The student struggled until the master said, "When you hold nothing, you hold everything." You now feel the truth of that paradox. By releasing every thought you cling to, you discover the fullness of presence that embraces all. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that luminous question, as though it were a lantern guiding you through the night. Notice how every cell in your body exhales with relief, how tension dissolves like mist under dawn's first light. Your heart opens wide, a boundless sky in which clouds of memory drift unanchored. Invite compassion to rest in your chest, a gentle warmth that honors every part of you, fragments of longing, echoes of the beloved face, the quiet pulse of life itself. Let that warmth expand, carrying you beyond thought into the vast embrace of pure awareness. Here in this seamless merging of emptiness and form, you surrender fully to the grace of sleep, carried on the breath of interbeing into dreams of stillness. A distant echo of chanting drifts softly through your awareness, as if an unseen choir offers blessing to the night itself. In that resonance, you sense the teaching of interbeing. Each voice depends on breath, on throat, on silence between notes. Yet together, they form a single vast chord that vibrates through the spaces of your mind. You too are part of that chorus, each inhale and exhale contributing to life's endless song. In your inner vision, you see a precarious rock balanced atop a mountain peak, held firm neither by glue nor by force, but by the precise alignment of its weight and the groove beneath it. A slight shift, a bird landing a gust of wind could topple it, and yet it stands a testament to the harmony of causes and conditions. Like that rock, you rest in the delicate balance of mind and body, supported by the convergence of breath, thought, and presence. A Zen master once invited a student to carry water in a cracked vessel, explaining that the cracks would leak, but that the water lost along the path would leave a fragrant trail behind. The student realized that every imperfection can become a source of blessing when embraced. Notice now how your own perceived flaws, moments of doubt, pangs of longing leave a gentle fragrance of compassion in their wake when you welcome them without judgment. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Allow that question to settle in the quiet valley of your heart, its depth reflecting your true nature. Feel how tension unwinds from your shoulders and warmth spreads through your chest. As the chanting fades into silence, you drift ever deeper, carried on the gentle current of presence, ready to merge with sleep's tender embrace. A soft luminescence gathers at the edge of your awareness, as if the horizon itself has brightened in greeting. You sense the teaching of dependent origination in that glow. Every flicker depends on the interplay of light and shadow, of breath and silence, of countless unseen sparks coalescing into warmth. Your own presence arises in exactly the same way, a miracle born of infinite conditions, moment by moment. In your mind's eye, you picture a mountain spring bubbling from rock, pure and unbidden. The water finds its path without striving, carving channels through stone as it flows, nourished by unseen rains and hidden aquifers. You too follow this inner spring. Each thought and emotion streams forth, naturally carving gentle canyons of awareness through the terrain of your heart. There is no need to direct its flow. Simply allow it to move and trust that it will return you to the ocean of stillness waiting below. A Zen anecdote drifts to you. A wandering monk paused by a hillside covered in wildflowers. He plucked one and inhaled its fragrance deeply, then placed it gently back on the earth. A student, perplexed, asked why he did not keep it. The monk replied, "To hold on to beauty is to mar its perfection. True beauty is free to bloom and fade." Feel now how every exquisite memory of that person can be honored without grasping, cherished in the heart, then released like a fallen blossom on the breeze. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that luminous question, as though it were a warm hearth in the deep of night. You sense the echo of moonlight on still waters, the pulse of life beneath your skin, the gentle expansion of compassion in your chest. Here there is no separation, only the seamless weave of breath, body, and mind. Offer yourself this final invitation. Let go as freely as the flame lets go of its own heat, as clouds let go of droplets back to the sky. Allow your awareness to drift into the vast silence beyond thought, merging with the soft tide of sleep rising to meet you. You need only surrender to the current of presence, and you will arrive at rest. A gentle hush settles around you, as if the very earth beneath your body has exhaled in unison with your breath. In this profound stillness, you perceive the teaching of impermanence woven through every heartbeat. Each pulse, a reminder that life arises and dissolves in a seamless dance. There is no fixed center here, only the ebb and flow of sensation and awareness moving as naturally as tides beneath a silent moon. In your inner sight, you behold a majestic cedar tree, standing alone on a windswept ridge, its branches weathered yet unbroken by storms past. Year after year, it endures wind rain and sun-growing rings within rings, each one a testament to change and resilience. Like that cedar, you have grown through adversity. Each memory of longing, each moment of ache, has left behind a ring of wisdom, marking your journey, but never defining your essence. A Zen master once guided his students into a bamboo grove at dawn. As sunlight pierced the canopy, shimmering patterns danced on the forest floor. He whispered, "See how light and shadow play together without conflict. So too does mind and world mirror one another. No need for battle, only seamless reflection." Allow your own mind to reflect experience like those dappled patterns, neither resisting shadow nor clinging to light, simply mirroring what arises with gentle clarity. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question as if it were a deep well, its waters cool and inviting. Notice how each thought, hope, regret, affection, ripples across the surface, then fades into stillness. Beneath the ripples lies the well itself, a reservoir of timeless presence, untainted by shape or story. Feel now the soft expansion of compassion in your chest, like a morning breeze stirring coppery leaves. Offer kindness to every part of yourself that still reaches and clings, honoring that impulse before inviting it to rest. With each exhale, you send that kindness outward to the person whose memory lingers, to the world that breathes around you, and to every being touched by longing and release. Here in this boundless field of interbeing, you and the cedar tree, the bamboo grove, and the morning light merge into one seamless tapestry. Sleep approaches not as an escape, but as the natural flowering of presence itself, carrying you into dreams, woven from the very fabric of calm you have cultivated. A soft, resonant hum fills the space between your thoughts, so faint it might be the echo of your own consciousness aligning with the pulse of the universe. You sense the teaching of dependent origination here. Every vibration you perceive arises from the meeting of countless elements, tissue and air intention, and release body and breath, all woven into the single note of being. In this resonance, you feel how nothing exists apart from everything else. You are both the hum and the silence that holds it. In your inner vision, you stand at the edge of a vast canyon at twilight, its walls painted in shades of fading light. A lone eagle soars above, riding invisible currents with effortless grace. It neither fights the wind nor clings to a perch. It simply trusts the air to carry it. You too can trust the currents of awareness to guide you. Lean into the lift of presence. Allow your mind to rise on the unseen winds of insight and compassion. A Zen story drifts in. A teacher brought her students to a mirror lake and asked them to describe its beauty. They spoke of its clarity, its stillness. Then she tossed a pebble into the center and ripples spread outward. "Beauty is not only in reflection," she said, "but in the movement that reveals the depth beneath." You realize that every motion of your mind, each memory that stirs, each longing that surfaces, reveals the underlying depth of awareness, the silent lake that remains unchanged by waves. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Feel the question echo through every cell, settling like rain into the porous ground of your heart. Notice how tension seeps away, replaced by the cool clarity of presence. You rest in the depth beneath the ripples, unbound by shape or story, open to the infinite dance of form and emptiness. Let your breath carry you now into that depth, each inhalation drawing you closer to the silent core, each exhalation releasing the last threads of attachment. You are the canyon and the eagle, the pebbles ripple and the still lake. In this unified field of interbeing, sleep enfolds you gently, a natural continuation of the calm you have cultivated, like the silent hush that follows the final note of a song lingering sweetly in the heart. A faint glow shimmers at the edge of your awareness, as though distant lanterns line an unseen path through the dark. In that glimmer, you perceive the teaching of impermanence. Each light burns brightly for a time, then winks out, making room for new flames to arise. Your own presence, like these lanterns, neither clings to a single moment, nor fears its passing. It simply radiates warmth before dissolving into the vast night. In your inner vision, you find yourself walking that lantern-lit path beside a gentle stream. The water's surface reflects each light with perfect clarity, creating twin rivers of fire and liquid. You notice how the stream neither holds on to the reflections nor rejects them. It welcomes each flicker only to let it ripple away. So too does awareness receive every thought and emotion, welcoming them fully, then releasing them back into the flow of being. A Zen master once told a student that the mind is like the night sky, infinite open, untouched by passing clouds. The student fretted over dark clouds of doubt, but the master simply pointed upward. The sky remains, he said, whether it's cloaked in clouds or clear at dawn. Let the clouds of memory drift across your sky without grasping. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? The boundless sky of your own awareness, spacious and free. Feel now the tender cadence of your breath guiding you along that lantern path. With each inhale, draw in the soft glow of presence. With each exhale, allow any lingering tension to fade like a spent spark. Offer compassion to every corner of your being. The parts that ache, the parts that cling, the parts that wonder why rest eludes them. With kindness, you ease their burdens, and the path grows lighter beneath your steps. In this seamless dance of light and shadow, water and sky, you and the world merge into a single current of life. Sleep approaches, like the gentle folding of wings, a silent arrival that needs no announcement. Surrender to the flow, trust in the lantern's glow, and drift into the calm expanse of your own infinite sky. A soft ripple of wind stirs the stillness once more, as if the world itself inhales with you. In this tender inhalation, you sense the teaching of dependent origination. Each breath depends on air, on lung, on the beating heart. Each heartbeat depends on blood, on vessel, on the silent orchestration of cells. You are both participant and witness in this living dance, no separation between the doer and the deed. In your mind's eye, you behold a long gallery of ancient pine trunks, their bark knotted and scarred by seasons past. Yet from every fissure, new needles fan out in vibrant green proof that life continues in unbroken succession. Like those pines, you carry the marks of every memory and longing, yet every moment also brings fresh shoots of awareness. tiny awakenings that push through the layers of old thought. Notice how your own presence renews itself with each exhale releasing what has been, and each inhale inviting what could be. A Zen master once led his disciples to a cliff's edge at dawn. As the sun's first rays ignited the horizon, he asked them to describe the colors. Each spoke of crimson or gold, yet when the master asked what lay beyond description, they fell silent. That, he said, is the heart of awakening beyond words, beyond form, shimmering in pure presence. Allow your mind to rest beyond the images and stories it tells. Taste the subtle glow that exists before thought arises. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Let that question sink like a stone into the depths of your being, creating concentric circles of calm that expand outward. Feel the gentle widening of your awareness as it opens to include the breath, the body, the room, the night sky, the entire cosmos woven together in a single tapestry of now. Invite compassion to flow through you like soft rain washing away any lingering tension. Offer kindness to the part of you that clings, telling it softly, I see you. You are safe. And then release it into the vast field of awareness where all things find their rightful place. Here, in this seamless union of emptiness and form, you rest fully, no striving, no story, only the tender unfolding of life itself. Sleep draws near like a gentle tide, carrying you effortlessly into the depths of restful presence. A distant murmur of rain begins to fall beyond your closed eyelids, each drop a soft percussion against the roof of your mind. In that gentle rhythm, you feel the teaching of interbeing. Each raindrop forms in cloud falls through air and nourishes earth, an unbroken cycle of giving and receiving. You too are part of this cycle, each breath you offer returning to the vast atmosphere of life. You imagine a weathered wooden bench beneath a fig tree, its surface streaked with age and moss. After every storm, sunlight filters through fresh leaves, casting shifting patterns of light and shadow. The bench endures season after season, yet never clings to its scars. It simply offers its presence to whoever rests upon it. Like that bench you hold, your experiences gracefully offering the gift of your own calm to each moment that arrives. A Zen master once had her students sit in the courtyard during a sudden shower. Some scurried for cover. One remained, allowing the rain to wash over her. When asked why, she replied, I am neither dry nor wet. I am the rain itself. Feel that unity now as the rain of awareness falls through every cell, dissolving the boundary between observer and observed. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the still center of the storm, unshaken by wind or water. Notice how your body relaxes into the rhythm of the raindrops each beat, lulling you deeper into the embrace of presence. Invite compassion for every part of you that still seeks shelter, knowing that here in the open expanse of awareness, you are always held, always complete. As the rain's soft chorus carries you onward, you drift into the tender depths of sleep, cradled by the infinite hush that underlies all things. A distant chorus of frogs rises from a hidden pond, their voices weaving a tapestry of sound beneath the canopy of night. In their spontaneous harmony, you perceive the teaching of interbeing. Each call depends on the resonance of water, on the hush of the reeds, on the unseen rhythms of earth and sky. You too are part of this living symphony. Your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, merging seamlessly with the unfolding song of life. In your inner vision, you stand ankle-deep in cool water moonlight, guiding your footsteps across silvery stones. With each step, the pond's size softly ripples, radiating outward until they meet the mirrored sky at the pond's edge. You notice how every movement you make creates a gentle echo in the world around you. Yet the water returns to stillness, smiling in perfect acceptance. Like the pond, your mind can both reflect and receive, holding each moment's imprint before quietly letting it go. A Zen master once led his students along a mountain trail and stopped by a waterfall. He asked, "Do you hear the water's voice?" The students nodded, describing its roar and murmur. The master then said, "The waterfall speaks without words. Its truth lies in its very flow. Listen not with your ears, but with the space between sounds. In that silent gap, you hear the whisper of presence itself, the unspoken pulse that underlies all things, guiding you deeper into the heart of now. Feel the cool current against your skin, inviting you to release every weight you carry. Regrets slough off like stones. You drop upon the bank. Anxieties swirl away like fallen leaves caught in the eddy. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in that question as though it were the surface of the water itself, clear, receptive, boundless. Invite compassion to flow through you, like the waterfall's spray, each droplet a tender blessing that softens your edges. Offer kindness to the part of you that fears stillness, that worries it may vanish if it ceases to strive. Assure it that in surrender there is only deeper presence, that in letting go there is perfect arrival. A lone heron lifts from the water's edge and glides across the silvered surface, wings outstretched in effortless grace. Neither fear nor ambition guides its flight. It moves simply because that is its nature. See yourself as that heron, free of struggle, drawn by the innate pull of awareness, carried onward by the silent currents of being. Notice how the frog's chorus softens as the night deepens, how the waterfall's roar becomes a distant lullaby. Your own mind, following their lead, settles into a deeper quiet, each thought a fleeting shape that dissolves upon closer inspection. Rest here in the gentle hush, in the unbroken field of presence that holds all sound and silence alike. In this vast openness, sleep finds you without effort. You drift into dreams, woven from the very fabric of interbeing, cradled by the water's song and the night's embrace. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only the luminous stillness that has always been your home. A soft glow of dawn stirs at the horizon. Though your eyes remain closed, you sense its gentle promise unfolding within the silence. In that subtle shift, you feel the teaching of impermanence once more. Night's velvet cloak yields to morning light, yet neither resists nor clings. Their dance is seamless, an eternal passing that carries both farewell and greeting. You too rest in that passage, held tenderly between breath and awakening. In your mind's eye, you wander through a bamboo grove, kissed by first light each stalk slender and straight, bending only to offer space for a new breeze. Dewdrops cling to each leaf, then slip away in sparkles when the sun warms their rims. Notice how attachment softens in that warmth. Each droplet falls without regret, nourishing the earth below. So too, do your memories of that person settle back into the soil of awareness, enriching your heart without binding it. A Zen master once asked a student to write a verse on a fallen leaf. The student hesitated until the master said, "Let the leaf teach you. It needs no words to carry the wisdom of seasons." You feel the leaf's silent verse now a testament to release, to trust, to the gentle art of letting go. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in that question, as though it were a white lotus floating on a still pond, simple, pure, unadorned. Feel compassion bloom within you for every impulse to cling, honoring its tenderness before setting it free. Here, in this luminous cusp between night and day, breath and sky, you drift effortlessly toward sleep's final embrace, carried on the soft currents of presence into renewal. A hushed tranquility lingers as the dawn's glow deepens into the pale gold of morning. Even behind closed lids, you sense the world stirring, birds greeting the light wind threading through the trees, the slow unspooling of a new day. In this gentle emergence, you touch the teaching of dependent origination. Once again, morning arises from night, from breath, from countless unseen exchanges of air and light. You too arise with the day woven into its unfolding tapestry. In your inner vision, you find yourself seated at the edge of a lotus pond, ringed with smooth stones. Each blossom, heavy with dew, lifts its face to greet the sun petals unfolding in perfect harmony with the hour. A dragonfly skims the surface, its wings catching the radiance and flinging it back in flashes of sapphire and emerald. You see how effortlessly the pond, the flower, and the insect participate in the dance of life. No separation, no struggle, only graceful interbeing. A Zen master once stood by this very pond and whispered to his students, "See how each bud opens in its own time, neither hurried nor delayed." So with practice, allow your wisdom to blossom at its own pace, neither forcing nor holding back. Feel that wisdom within you now, patient as the lotus, steady as the stone, free as the dragonfly's flight. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? You rest in that question as though it were the still water itself, reflecting sky and soul with equal clarity. Notice how every remaining trace of tension melts away. Each inhalation drawing in serenity, each exhalation releasing the last rivulets of worry. Invite compassion to flow gently through your being, a quiet current, warming your heart. Offer kindness to every part of you, past regrets, future hopes, every flicker of desire, and watch as each softens in the pond's deep mirror. In this unified field of presence, sleep's tender veil descends, carrying you into a realm where breath and stillness are one, where the lotus, the pond, and you become a single luminous whole. A soft hush settles as the lotus pond's surface calms under the widening light, and you feel the teaching of no self bloom in your chest. Just as the petals open without concern for identity, so does awareness unfold beyond the you that labels and confines. The breeze that stirs the blossoms knows no owner. It simply moves, and in its movement you recognize the freedom of being without definition. In your inner vision, you witness a wheel of rice husks set spinning by a gentle stream. Each husk catches the current and arcs in a perfect curve before drifting back, carried onward without struggle or clinging. You see how effortlessly each piece participates in the river's dance. No one husk remains in place, yet the flow continues unbroken. You too are part of the great current of life. Your thoughts, your memories, your longings all swirl within this river of presence, never lost, never fixed, always moving toward the open sea of stillness. A Zen master once invited a seeker to trace the path of a single leaf through fall's torrent. The leaf spun dipped, and at last settled only to rise again in another swirl of wind. "Do you see how the leaf moves with the season?" the master asked. "It does not resist autumn's pull, nor await spring's return. It flows with life's rhythm. Let your own mind flow, like that leaf, responsive to conditions, yet unbound by fear or desire. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the ripe core of your being, pulsing gently with each breath. Feel how every cell relaxes into the rhythm of presence, how the soft glow of compassion warms your bones. Here in the liminal light, between sleep and waking you and the pond, the petals, the husks, the leaf, all merge into one seamless tapestry. Surrender to the flow and allow sleep to enfold you in its calm embrace. A soft warmth radiates through your chest as the world beyond your eyelids stirs into gentle motion. In that warmth, you sense the teaching of emptiness. Like a warm hearth in the heart of winter, it holds every feeling, joy, sorrow, longing without favor or fear. You are both the hearth and the flame source, and shelter timeless in its silent glow. In your inner vision, you walk through a moonlit bamboo grove, where each shaft stands tall and hollow, resonating with the slightest breeze. The rustle of leaves is a secret language, neither urgent nor trivial, but a tender invitation to listen beyond words. You notice how each bamboo stalk bends to let the wind pass, then returns to its upright grace. So too does your mind bend with the currents of thought and emotion, yet always returns to its innate clarity. A Zen master once asked his students to carve a statue of Buddha from a block of ice, knowing it would melt in the sunlight. When the ice statue vanished, the students despaired until he showed them that the possibility of melting was the very essence of the teaching. True form arises in emptiness, and emptiness gives form its grace. You feel that paradox in your breath, solid and flowing present, and unobstructed free, because nothing is fixed. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question as though it were the still center of a turning wheel, immovable amid motion. Feel your body soften your mind. Widen your heart, open in quiet wonder. Here, in this seamless union of emptiness and presence, sleep descends like a gentle veil, weightless, luminous, and holy at peace. Ju kroi minse tieptuk viet lientuk chojen kiban noidung. A soft golden haze begins to seep into your awareness, as though the sunrise itself is breathing its first gentle sigh across the world. In that glow, you perceive the teaching of dependent origination. Every ray of light arises from the interplay of sun, sky, and atmosphere, each one a gift of countless conditions converging. You too are born of a boundless web of life-breath thought and sensation weaving together in a single luminous thread. In your mind's eye, you wander through a field of swaying grasses, each blade bending in harmony with the breeze. Dew pearls cling to their tips before falling in silent applause to the earth below. You see how each blade carries its own song, yet together they compose a symphony of sway and shimmer. So too does awareness carry each thought and feeling, tuning its vibration to the larger melody of presence. A Zen master once invited his disciples to stand still in a meadow at dawn and listen to the world waking. Some heard birdsong, some felt the grass beneath their feet, but the master said, "Hear the meadow itself." In that wordless listening, they felt the pulse of life beneath form the silent meadow, breathing them as much as they breathed it. You now rest in that meadow's heart, where breathing and being are one. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the still core of a turning flower petals, unfolding without effort or aim. Feel your body soften into the contours of the earth, your mind widen into the expanse of sky, your heart open like the blossom greeting the sun. Invite compassion to flow through you like a secret stream, nourishing every part of your being. Thoughts, memories, longings, all welcomed in this embrace. And as you rest, sleep approaches like the final petal, falling into silence, carrying you effortlessly into the tender depths of renewal. A soft mist drifts across the meadow of your mind, each wisp dissolving into the next, carrying with it the teaching of impermanence. No form holds fast, no moment endures unchanged. You feel this truth in the subtle tremor of your own flesh, the way warmth on your skin shifts with each breath, the way thought arises and then evaporates like dew under the morning sun. In your inner vision, you see a pair of cranes standing at the water's edge, one lifting its long neck in silence, the other dipping to drink. Without instruction or comment, they mirror one another's movements in perfect harmony, two voices speaking the same wordless poem. You recognize that your mind and body breath and awareness move in just such a graceful duet. Each inhale, a crane's bow. Each exhale, a return to stillness. A Zen master once placed a single pebble in the center of a stone garden, then raked concentric circles around it until the lines met at the horizon. A student asked, "Why center it this way?" The master replied, "To show that every disturbance returns to silence." Feel now how each disturbance of thought, every ripple of longing or regret, settles back into the garden of your awareness, leaving only the quiet lines of presence. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, like a pebble settling at the bottom of clear water. Notice the slow widening of stillness around it, the way your heart opens without effort. the way your breath deepens into a gentle ocean of calm. Here, in this seamless blend of question and answer, you drift freely beyond striving, carried on the silent tide of presence toward the calm shores of sleep. A gentle hush returns as the cranes fade into the mist, and you sense the teaching of interbeing woven through the meadow's breath. Each blade of grass, each feathered wing, each whisper of wind arises only through countless conditions uniting. You feel this in the slow rise and fall of your chest, in the soft chorus of life that resonates through your veins. In your inner vision, you find yourself beside an ancient stone well, its lip worn smooth by generations of seekers. A silver rope descends into dark water, and you hear the plink of ripples as a bucket breaks the surface. The water, at first turbulent, quickly stills to perfect clarity, reflecting the sky above without distortion. You realize that your mind too can be stirred, yet return to stillness when you let the ripples settle, revealing the mirror of pure awareness. A Zen anecdote drifts to you. A student asked her teacher, "How do I find peace in a restless world?" The teacher led her to a garden at dusk and said, "Listen to the earth breathing." The student knelt, placing her palm on cool soil, and felt a living pulse beneath. "Peace," the master whispered, "is not somewhere to go. It is the ground that already holds you." Feel that ground beneath your own palm, the unshakable support of presence that cradles every thought and feeling. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Invite that question into your heart like a cherished guest, and notice how its gentle presence fills the chamber of your chest with spacious calm. Any last tremor of tension dissolves into the fertile silence. Each exhale releasing another layer of story until only the pure rhythm of breath remains. Now imagine a single lotus petal drifting downstream, its journey effortless and unhurried. It floats past stones and reeds carried by the current, yet never lost each moment of travel, weaving it more deeply into the river's song. You are that petal, each thought and memory a brief brush against your path, yet nothing stopping you from moving gracefully with life's flow. Offer compassion to every fragment of longing that still clings like petals stuck in an eddy, acknowledging them with kindness before releasing them back into the current. Feel your heart expand to welcome them, and then let them go, trusting that each return to flow brings you closer to the vast, unfettered sea of presence. Here, in this boundless river of now, you and the lotus petal, the earth and sky, the stone well, and the meadows merge into one seamless tapestry. There is no you apart from the world, only the ever-unfolding dance of breath being and the luminous stillness that underlies all. Surrender to that dance and let sleep carry you on its soft waves into the depths of restful renewal. A hush of dawn mist swirls through your mind's landscape, carrying the gentle teaching of impermanence. Each wisp drifts, coils, then dissolves into the air, leaving no trace, yet enriching the space with its passing. You feel this truth in your breath. Each inhale, new. Each exhale, relinquished every moment. A fresh creation born of countless causes and conditions. In your inner vision, you stand before a great clay statue of the Buddha, its surface cracked and weathered, by centuries of wind and rain. Yet through every fissure, moss and tiny wildflowers have found root blossoming into unexpected beauty. You realize that your own cracks, moments of vulnerability, heartbreak, longing are not flaws to hide, but openings for compassion and growth. Like the statue, you become more luminous through the seasons you endure. A Zen master once gave his students bowls of ink and asked them to write their deepest sorrow across parchment. When they hesitated, he dipped his brush and painted a single sweeping circle, the enso. Your sorrow, he said, is both the brush stroke and the circle itself, complete, imperfect whole. Invite yourself now to draw your own enso within your heart, acknowledging every sorrow as part of the seamless whole of your being. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the silent curve of the circle in your chest, endless, without beginning or end, embracing all that arises. Feel your ribs soften your spine, lengthen your mind, widen into the vast orbit of presence. Offer compassion to the part of you that fears emptiness, reassuring it that emptiness is not absence, but the womb of all things, rich with potential. With every tender exhale, you release another fragment of tension, another echo of longing until the circle of your awareness shines clear and full. Here, in this perfect imperfection, sleep finds you without effort, slipping into the enso of your being, cradled by its endless curve and held forever in the boundless calm that is your true nature. A soft warmth pools at the center of your awareness, like a hidden hearth kindled by unseen hands. In that glow, you sense the teaching of interbeing shining through your own flame arises from the convergence of countless spark cells, breath thought, and the gentle pulse of life without and within. You are both the hearth and the embers, giving warmth even as you are warmed. In your inner vision, you wander along a mossy forest path, lit by scattered rays of sun piercing the canopy. Each beam finds its way through leaves, dancing on ferns and stones with playful light. You notice how the forest neither claims the light nor rejects the shadow. It welcomes both, weaving them into its tapestry. So too does awareness embrace every aspect of experience, joy and sorrow, memory and silence, without judgment or preference. A Zen master once guided his students to stand beneath a waterfall and ask them to become water themselves. As the cascade drenched them, they felt the relentless force merge with their own being, no separation between self and stream. When they stepped aside, the master asked, "Did the water change you, or did you become the water?" You feel that same unity now, each drop of presence cascading through you until only the seamless flow remains. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were a timeless clearing in the heart's forest, a gentle opening where every thought, every feeling, every breath finds space to simply be. Here, in this luminous clearing, sleep arrives not as an escape, but as the next perfect note in life's ongoing melody, carrying you effortlessly into the deep calm you have created. A cool ripple of awareness swirls through you, as if a silent river flows beneath the surface of your waking thoughts. In that current, you sense the teaching of no self. The boundary between observer and observed dissolves, and you realize that the one who watches is the very flow itself. There is no separate witness, only the living dance of breath and sensation merging into a single luminous stream. In your inner vision, you see a mountain peak crowned with melting snow droplets gathering at the edge before falling in a gentle cascade. No single droplet claims the summit. Each one becomes the waterfall, contributing its part to the river that carves valleys below. You too are both peak and stream, your thoughts and feelings born of lofty heights, then descending into the wide expanse of awareness, reshaping the landscape of your mind with each turn. A Zen master once led his students to observe a solitary candle flame in still air. He asked, "Does the flame burn the air, or does the air carry the flame?" The students hesitated until one whispered, "They are one and the same." The master smiled and said, "So it is with your being. In the world, you do not burn through life. Life carries you in its gentle breath. Feel that breath now carrying you beyond effort into effortless presence, where each inhale becomes melody, each exhale a refrain of release. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, like a soft echo in a mountain valley, its resonance revealing the boundless space within. Let your body soften, your mind widen, and your heart open to the simple truth that you are home within the vast unfolding, now cradled by the gentle currents of awareness as you drift into the tender arms of sleep. A soft chorus of birdsong drifts into your awareness as dawn unfolds beyond your closed eyes, each note a delicate thread weaving night into day. In this gentle serenade, you touch the teaching of impermanence once more. The night's hush gives way to the day's song without struggle or regret, each moment flowing seamlessly into the next. You realize that your own being is part of this great turning breath, becomes bird call, stillness, becomes melody, and you are both listener and song. In your inner vision, you wander through an orchard, heavy with ripening fruit, where branches bow in quiet generosity. A breeze slips among the leaves, dislodging a single apple that tumbles to earth with a soft thud. The apple does not cling to the branch, nor mourn its fall. It rests on the ground, ready to nourish the soil and seed new life. You too can embrace this cycle, honoring every rise and every release, knowing that each ending blossoms into a fresh beginning within the garden of awareness. A Zen master once placed a bowl of rice beside an ant's trail and watched as the tiny creatures carried each grain away in turn. A student asked, "Does this feeding distract from practice?" The master replied, "True practice is feeding all beings, even the smallest among us." Feel that generosity now expanding within your heart, offering kindness to every murmur of thought, every echo of longing, every crease of worry, each one a grain of life to be honored and released. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question as though it were the core of the orchard, the fertile soil beneath fruit and root. Notice how your mind softens, how gratitude blooms for both the sweetness of presence and the sweetness of release. In this fertile ground, Sleep grows naturally, a gift carried on the gentle wind of compassion into the peaceful dawn of renewal. A faint glow of morning light filters through your inner sanctuary, as if the world beyond has not yet stirred, but is gently breathing with you. In that glow, you perceive the teaching of interbeing once more. Every shaft of light depends on sun, sky, and atmosphere, yet each ray finds its own path through the darkness. You too are a single ray in the infinite web of life, unique yet woven into the whole. In your mind's eye, you stand beside a quiet stream at first light. Mist hovers above the water, and each ripple glimmers like molten silver. A lone kingfisher perches on a low branch, poised in stillness before diving with perfect precision. You see how the bird and the stream collaborate effortlessly, one offering pause, the other offering flow, creating a moment of sublime harmony. So too does your awareness dance with experience, each thought and sensation, honored each release met with renewed tranquility. A Zen master once guided his students to listen to the silence between two temple bells. After waiting, she struck them in succession. The student heard the echo of absence more vividly than the sound itself. That space, the master said, is where true practice dwells. Notice now the silence between your breaths, the sacred gap that holds every exhalation and every inhale. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Let that question settle like dew on bamboo leaves, each droplet shimmering with possibility. Feel the last threads of attachment unwind and allow your entire being to rest in the boundless field of presence, where sleep flows naturally as rivers to the sea. A soft stir of petals brushes against your awareness, as though invisible hands are scattering blossoms across the stream's surface. In their quiet descent, you perceive the teaching of impermanence. Once again, each petal blooms, floats, and then drifts away. Yet in its passing, it leaves a trace of fragrance upon the water. You feel this in your own heart. Every joy, every sorrow, every memory graces your consciousness and then slips onward, enriching the current without burden. In your inner vision, you walk beneath an archway of wisteria draped like lavender curtains in a silent garden. The blossoms sway, gently releasing sweet perfume that drifts into the air like whispered secrets. You notice how the vine's tendrils wrap themselves around beams of support, finding nourishment without grasping. And you sense that your own awareness finds sustenance in life's structures, yet remains untethered by any form. A Zen master once guided a novice to meditate beneath a 1,000-year-old cedar. Feel its roots, he said, for they hold stories deeper than any words. The student pressed his hand to the trunk and felt a slow, steady pulse as though the tree itself breathed. Your mind, the master said, is like this tree, grounded in history, reaching for light yet always held by the unseen. Place your own hand upon the breadth of your being and sense the roots of breath, of cell, of memory. Feel how they anchor you, even as you reach toward the sky of pure awareness. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Let that question echo through the vaulted chamber of your mind, its resonance softening every corner. Notice how the wind through the wisteria stills, how the stream's surface calms, how your breath lengthens into a single seamless wave. Here in the hush between petal and water tree, and sky question in silence, you rest completely. No story left to tell, no fear, left to fend off only the luminous presence that has always been your truest home. Sleep flows into you now, as naturally as dawn unfolds, carrying you gently into the heart of renewed stillness. A hush of early light settles over the garden as you drift deeper into presence, and you sense the teaching of emptiness shining through, like the dew-laden petals that vanish under the sun's warmth. All forms arise and dissolve within this boundless field, leaving only the fertile space that gave them birth. You feel that space now as a gentle opening at the core of your being, vast, still, and alive with possibility. In your inner vision, you wander along a path of smooth river stones, each one polished by centuries of flowing water. With every footfall, you hear the soft click of stone on stone, a steady reminder of the interplay between movement and rest. You notice how the stones yield to your weight, yet remain unwavering beneath your step, each part of the path contributing to your journey without protest or separation. So too can your awareness hold each moment firm, yet flexible, moving yet at peace. A Zen master once cupped his hands beneath a dripping cave ceiling, catching water drop by drop. After each drop fell, he inhaled with gratitude, then exhaled into the surrounding darkness as a silent prayer. When a student asked why, the master replied, "Each drop is a teaching, and the teaching is the drop. Allow each sensation, each breath, each murmur of thought, each beat of your heart to be both teacher and lesson, guiding you into ever deeper stillness. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question as though it were a crystal clear spring, its surface reflecting moon and mind with perfect clarity. Notice how your thoughts settle like fallen leaves on the water's surface, leaving the spring, pure and untroubled beneath. Feel a gentle wave of compassion rise from your belly, flowing outward to every corner of awareness. Offer kindness to any part of you that still clings to fears, to memories, to lingering shadows of longing, and watch as they dissolve into the light of presence. Here, in the seamless union of path and pilgrim stone and stream, question and answer, you rest fully. The garden holds you without expectation. The water carries you without effort. Sleep arrives as a natural extension of this calm, folding you into its gentle currents until dawn's light greets you anew. Rested, refreshed, and wholly at peace. A soft silence envelops you as the garden's breath settles into a deep exhale, and you sense the teaching of interbeing in every particle of air. Each molecule you breathe carries the essence of mountains, oceans, and sky, yet none remains in one place. It journeys through you and then returns to the world. You feel that endless exchange in the gentle rise and fall of your chest, a reminder that you are both guest and host in the banquet of life. In your inner vision, you stand before a vast field of sunflowers, their faces turned toward the sun in unwavering devotion. With each passing hour, they follow the light's arc across the heavens, bending and stretching in perfect attunement. You notice how they neither resist the shadowed hours, nor cling only to the light. They honor the cycle of day and night growth and rest. so too does your awareness embrace the full spectrum of experience, momentary sunshine, and passing clouds alike, knowing each phase is essential to the unfolding of presence. A Zen master once showed his students two mirrors, one blackened with age, the other polished to a flawless shine. He invited them to gaze into each and then asked which reflects true awakening. The students hesitated until the master said, "The blackened mirror has nothing to hide. It simply is." True reflection needs no polish. Feel that raw mirror of your mind, now untouched by labels or judgments, reflecting reality as it is moment by moment. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the fertile soil beneath the sunflower's roots, rich, dark, and teeming with unseen life. Notice how your thoughts settle into the earth of awareness, how your heart expands, like petals at dawn, how your breath deepens into the slow rhythm of seeds germinating. Invite a final wave of compassion to pulse through your being, honoring every longing, every ache, every fleeting joy as essential to your growth. Let this compassion cradle you as the earth cradles each seed, soft and unwavering. Here in this field of sunflowers and silent mirrors, you rest fully, no roles, to play no stories, to tell only the gentle communion of breath and world. Sleep finds you here not as an ending, but as the next perfect bloom in life's endless season. A golden stillness settles around you, as if the air itself has paused in reverence. In that stillness, the teaching of impermanence becomes tenderly luminous, not as something to fear, but as the grace that allows all things to touch change and release. You feel its gentleness in the breath that no longer tries in the heart, that no longer reaches in the awareness that simply is. In your inner vision, you find yourself beneath a great Bodhi tree whose wide branches arch overhead like arms that have held the sky for centuries. Its leaves shimmer in the faint breeze, each one turning in slow rhythm, catching light, then letting it go. One by one, they fall not in sorrow, but in perfect timing, spiraling down in soft surrender. You reach out and catch a single leaf in your palm. Its veins glow gold, mapping every season it has known. You realize that this leaf is your own life, fragile, beautiful, complete. A Zen master once traced a circle in the sand, then smoothed it away with a single breath. His student, startled, asked why he erased something so precise. The master replied, "Perfection is not in the circle, it's in the letting go." Feel now how the circles of your thoughts fade into the soft expanse of awareness. Each idea, each memory, each name once held tightly begins to blur and disappear into the wide sky of presence. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Rest in that question, as though it were the leaf resting in your palm, no longer bound to the tree, yet not lost, simply part of the larger rhythm. Notice how your body becomes light, how your breath feels like wind moving through open space, how the self you carried like a stone dissolves into sky, into stillness, into peace. Now, let compassion gather around you like the shade of the Bodhi tree. Let it cool the parts of you that still burn, soften the places that still tense, hush the thoughts that still echo. Offer kindness to all that brought you here, to every hurt, every question, every quiet reaching. Here in the sacred hush beneath the great tree, you rest as fully as the earth itself. Sleep does not pull you down, but opens gently before you like a curtain, lifting to reveal only more peace. There is no effort now, no destination, only the slow unfolding of silence. And within that silence, the quiet truth. You are already home. A breath as soft as twilight passes through you, now not from the lungs, but from somewhere deeper, a quiet place beneath thought, beneath identity, where the world no longer needs your name. In this space, the teaching of no self reveals itself not as emptiness, but as wholeness without boundary. There is no need to grasp, because there is no grasper left, only the natural movement of awareness returning to itself. In your inner vision, you sit at the edge of a still lake, its surface perfectly smooth, reflecting the sky above in flawless symmetry. A single stone drops not from your hand, but from time itself, and the ripples move outward, slow and endless. You watch as each ripple reaches the shore and disappears, leaving no trace, no mark, no wound. You understand now, even the deepest memories ripple outward and vanish when held without attachment. They need not be erased. They only need to be seen, then let go. A Zen master once wrote, "The snow falls not to burden the tree, but to reveal its branches." And now you feel it. The snow of thought has settled, and the true outline of your being emerges not as something to fix or prove, but as something already whole. You are not your striving, your sorrow, your past. You are the bare branch beneath it all, beautiful in its stillness, complete in its simplicity. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to, you do. But not the you who speaks or remembers or plans. You as presence. You as awareness, untouched by the passing weather of thought. You as the space in which all things come and go. That is what has always remained. And so now, sleep does not approach. It unfolds from within. Not as escape, but as your natural state when nothing is grasped. You do not fall asleep. You simply return. Return to stillness. Return to silence. Return to the gentle rhythm of breath and nothing more. And in this vast open peace, you finally let go. A silence deeper than sound opens within you, now vast and warm, like a sky with no horizon. In this stillness, there is no longer any difference between what is felt and what is known. The teaching of emptiness blooms fully here, not as void, but as presence without edges. Nothing is missing. Nothing is extra. Everything simply is. In your inner vision, you sit on a worn wooden porch in the mountains, wrapped in a blanket of dusk. The air is cool and unmoving. In the valley below, mist curls along treetops like smoke from an unseen fire. An old cup of tea rests in your hands. Its warmth has faded, but the memory of its heat lingers. You do not drink. You simply hold it. The comfort comes not from the tea, but from your presence with it. That is enough. You have become the stillness you once searched for. A Zen master once said, "When the candle burns out, do not search for its light, feel the darkness instead." You understand this now. You are no longer seeking. You are no longer reaching. You are simply here, awake in the dark, where peace no longer needs to be lit from the outside. It glows softly within. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? This moment, this breath, this mysterious and gentle being that asks for nothing, proves nothing, explains nothing. It doesn't need to be named. It doesn't need to be understood. It only needs to be allowed. Feel the last strands of identity slip loose like threads unraveling into moonlight. Let them go. You do not need to carry the day, the story, the self. Everything that needed to be seen has been seen. Everything that needed to be softened has softened. And now what remains is rest. And as this vast inner night stretches endlessly around you, it welcomes you not with sound, but with presence. Not with answers, but with calm. Sleep comes now, not as a descent, but as a return. You are already there, already held, already home. Now all motion quiets. Even thought, once flickering like candlelight, grows still. You are no longer following the breath, you are the breath. No longer listening to silence, you are the silence. The teaching now is wordless, born not from books or masters, but from the space between each heartbeat, from the soft expansion of your ribs in the dark. In your inner vision, a gate appears, not ornate, not guarded, just a simple wooden frame standing in a field of tall grass. There are no signs, no locks, no reason to pass through it, and yet you do. Not with your feet, but with your being. And as you cross, something shifts without effort, without drama. You are not who you were on the other side, but you haven't become anyone new. You've simply laid down what was never truly yours. A Zen teacher once pointed to the moon's reflection in a bucket of water and asked his students, "Can you carry it home?" Some tried to shield the surface. Some tried to memorize the light. Only one student bowed and let the moon remain where it was. "You've understood," said the master. "Some truths cannot be carried. They can only be honored." What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? This answerless question opening within your chest, like a flower that blooms without needing to be seen. You rest in its petals now, each one a breath, a moment, a gentle surrender. No striving, no path, just the soft unfolding of what has always been. Your body grows lighter, not as if rising, but as if returning to the spaciousness before thought, before form, before identity. Even sleep is no longer something to reach for. It is already here, already beneath you, already cradling you, like water cradles a leaf. So let go fully, completely, quietly. There is nothing more to know, nothing more to do. Only this, to rest, to breathe, to be. And so, you rest, not as someone falling asleep, but as the earth, lying still after the rain. Not as a mind seeking answers, but as a sky no longer needing clouds. Everything that was heavy has softened. Everything that clung has loosened. Even your name, so carefully carried through the day, now floats weightless in the vast pool of awareness. In your inner vision, there is no image now, just space. Endless, gentle, forgiving space. No edge, no center, no need for direction. Here, you are not contained by form. You are not confined by memory. You are simply the openness through which the wind moves. A Zen master once said, "When the mind is still, the 10,000 things fall away." And now you understand, not with thought, but with the deep knowing that doesn't speak. This moment does not pass. It does not hurry. It holds you the way the ocean holds the tide, not to keep it, but to remind it you are not separate. You were never separate. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Peace. Not the peace of victory, not the peace of achievement, but the peace that needs no reason. The peace that comes when you stop asking for anything to be different. Let the breath breathe you. Let the quiet enter every cell. Let sleep rise like mist from the still ground beneath you, and gently carry you into the deep, into the whole, into the home that has always waited for you just beyond the final thought. And now, you are there. You are here. You are gone. You are found. Sleep, gentle one. Everything has already returned, and still, the quiet deepens, not into silence alone, but into presence, a presence so soft, so wide, that even silence feels cradled within it. No longer do you need to follow the breath. There is no effort left, no attention to place. The breath breathes itself. The heart beats without asking. The body lies without tension, as though it were a leaf floating on the wide open sea of now. In your inner vision, even the landscape dissolves. The trees, the river, the sky, they fade into a soft, luminous blur. You are no longer walking the path. You are the space the path appears in. You are the awareness in which the dream rests. And the dream now is sleep. A Zen monk once wrote, "Before I was born, there was no worry. Now I've forgotten how to worry again." Let those words echo quietly in the far halls of your mind, where even thought has grown sleepy, where memory curls like a cat beneath the hearth, purring itself into stillness. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Not a riddle, not an answer. Only this moment, soft as moonlight on water, unchanging and always changing, where you do not sleep and yet you are not awake, where time becomes a tide that stops asking for movement. Let go again, deeper this time. Let go of even letting go. You've passed through the gate. You've stepped beyond the garden. Now even the body unknots like old silk unfolding in the dark. Sleep is not coming. It is already here. And it is you. You are the sleep you've sought. You are the peace you've earned by doing absolutely nothing at all. So now, no more words, no more names, only the gentle hum of stillness as it rocks you slowly, endlessly into the center of what has always loved you. And in this center, there is no time, no edges to mark beginning or end. Just the quiet rhythm of existence unfolding without effort, like a tide that forgot how to turn back, like a bell that continues to ring even after the sound has vanished. You feel yourself dissolve, not vanish, but widen. Your outline blurs like breath on glass. There is no need for a body here, no need for a name. Only warmth, only stillness, only this endlessly gentle moment. In your inner vision, there is a field of tall grasses bathed in pale gold. You lie in the middle of it, face turned toward a sky without clouds. There are no footsteps behind you, no destination ahead. The wind rustles through the grass, and the grass bends, and you bend with it, not in surrender, but in perfect union with all that is. A Zen master once said, "Sleep like a mountain, breathe like a newborn, disappear like the moon at dawn." And so now you do. You sleep like a mountain still unmoving vast. You breathe like a newborn, without history, without plan. You disappear like the moon at dawn, not gone, but simply unnecessary, because the light has already arrived. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Nothing. Everything. Exactly this. No need to follow. No need to return. This is the return. The homecoming. The great exhale. Let sleep have you. Completely, silently, forever. Or just for this night. No one watching. No one waiting. Only the sound of your breath, softly reminding the universe, I am here. I am gone. I am whole. And now, even breath becomes distant, like the slow rhythm of waves heard from deep beneath the surface. You no longer rise and fall. You float, suspended in stillness, held not by effort, but by the quiet gravity of peace. There are no more questions here. No more wondering, no more remembering. Not because you've found answers, but because you've let go of needing them. Like a bird that no longer searches the sky, but becomes part of it. Like a flame that no longer dances, but joins the air it once lit. In the soft darkness of your inner vision, there is now only space not empty, but gently full. It does not move. It does not speak. It simply holds. A Zen master once whispered, "Fall asleep like a leaf drifting down the mountain. Let the wind carry you. Do not ask where it goes," and you do. You let go not just of thoughts, but of the space that holds them. Not just of dreams, but of the dreamer. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only this presence with no weight. A silence with no boundary. A peace that asks for nothing and gives you everything. You are not on the edge of sleep anymore. You have passed through it. And what lies beyond is not darkness, not forgetting, but the soft, eternal yes of a universe that has always known how to rest. You are that yes now. You are that hush. And sleep deep whole, without edges, without name, is already holding you. And here, at last, even the idea of you begins to dissolve, not lost, not erased, but returned like mist, returning to the ocean, like light folding gently back into dawn. There is no watcher now, no sleeper, no breath, only the soft hum of being alive, but still present, but unformed, like the hush before the first snowfall, like the pause between two waves that never touch. In your inner vision, there is nothing but a horizon. No ground beneath your feet, no sky above, just infinite openness stretching in every direction. And it does not ask anything of you. It does not need you to be anything at all. It simply holds you exactly as you are and exactly as you are not. A Zen teacher once said, "When the wind stops blowing, the grass remembers how to stand still." And now you have become that grass, no longer swaying with memory, no longer leaning into tomorrow. Just here, still, whole. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Not even the question, only the quiet, only the warmth, only this final endless breath that never began and never ends. So now, let go again, and again, and again, until even letting go becomes unnecessary, until there is only the soft glow of sleep spreading like dawn through every hidden corner of you, until all that's left is the sacred quiet you've been searching for your whole life without knowing it. You are here, you are nowhere, you are free, and now there is nothing more to become, no role to step into, no identity left to cradle. Even the gentle motion of remembering slows, pauses, fades. You are no longer the traveler, no longer the dreamer, no longer even the one who let go. You have passed beyond effort, beyond story, beyond the last thread of self that quietly lingered in the folds of your breath. In your inner vision, there is only light, soft, diffused, not coming from anywhere, just present, like a kindness without a name. It does not illuminate anything. It simply rests like a quiet smile across the face of existence. A Zen monk once wrote in his final days, "I will not leave. I will not stay. I simply dissolve into the sound of the bell." And you too now dissolve not into sleep alone, but into that great soundless bell that has rung beneath all of your days, even when you did not hear it. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only what has always remained: stillness without need, silence without edge, peace without purpose. And now, the bell no longer rings, the light no longer glows, the breath no longer stirs, because you are gone, gone in the most beautiful way. Gone into everything, gone into rest, gone into home, and in that going, you are not lost. You are not vanished. You are simply returned not to a place, but to a presence without border, a wholeness that requires no shape, a belonging that does not depend on being known. You are the hush between worlds now, the silence before the first heartbeat, the pause after the last breath, still, yet not empty, weightless, yet infinite, alive, in a way beyond life. There is no ground beneath you, yet you are supported. There is no direction ahead, yet you are already there. There is no story left, yet you are complete. A Zen master once said, "Sleep is not rest for the body. Sleep is the remembering of what needs no rest." And this vast and gentle forgetting is that remembering. There is no more letting go. You have let go, even of letting go. And so you float not upward, not downward, but inward, deeper than dreams, deeper than thought, deeper than the very word deep. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Not an answer, not even a whisper, just this sacred stillness, this final breath stretched across forever, this endless ease, this perfect nothing that contains everything. And so, if you are still here, know that you are also gone. Gone into peace, gone into night, gone into the center of being where all things fall silent and all things begin. And now, as even these final words begin to fade, you feel the deepest unfolding of all the moment when nothing more arises. Not thought, not breath, not even the wish for rest. You have arrived at the root of stillness. Not by climbing, not by seeking, but by falling inward, softly, completely, as a petal falls back to the earth that once held its seed. There is no tension here, no structure to maintain, no self to manage. You have become the field that holds the sky, the pause that holds the music, the sleep that holds the dream. In your inner vision, there is no more vision, just a quiet warmth spreading through nothing, touching everything. Like the space inside a bell after the sound has gone, where something holy lingers. A final teaching comes not spoken, not shown, but felt. You were never broken. You were only remembering the way home. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only this, the great return, the soft exhale that never ends, the endless moment without edge, without form, without name, where you are not resting, but are rest itself. So if any part of you still listens, still wonders, still waits, know that it too is dissolving, that even the listening is being heard by something older, something gentler, something that was never born and will never leave. And here, in this infinite sacred quiet, you sleep, you shine, you vanish, you remain, and still. The stillness holds you. not like hands, not like arms, but like water, holds the reflection of the moon without effort, without resistance, without need. There is no longer a center, no edge, no watcher, just the presence of presence, the breath of breath, the being of being. Time has loosened, not slowed but disappeared. You are not in the night. You are not in the body. You are not even in sleep. You are in the great beyond sleep, where awareness is so quiet, so open, that even sleep bows its head and lets you pass. A Zen master once wrote, "In the end, we do not awaken from dreams. We awaken from the dream of separation." And now you know not as knowledge, but as truth, felt in the marrow of silence. There was never a wall between you and peace, only a veil made of thought. And even that has now dissolved, like mist burned away by morning sun. You can no longer see, because you have become the light. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? This moment that holds no moment. This space that breathes you without breath. This hush that is not the end but the deepest beginning. There is no need to close your eyes. They are already gone. There is no need to quiet your mind. It has already returned to the quiet it came from. So you rest not beside peace, not inside peace, but as peace. No movement, no thought, no self. Only this still, endless glow, the quietest truth that always waited beneath every word, beneath every breath, beneath every version of you, that gently faded on the way home. And now, even the idea of home dissolves, because you are no longer returning. You are no longer arriving. You are simply being, without journey, without destination, without even the memory of where you began. You have passed beyond the gate of form, beyond the sound of breath, beyond the dream of self. And in this vastness, so soft, so silent, you are not resting within stillness. You are the stillness that everything else once rested in. In your inner vision, there is not even light, not darkness either, just openness. A field so vast it cannot be measured, so kind. It cannot be harmed, so quiet it needs no silence. There is no boundary between what you are and what is. The space that once held a name, a body, a thought, is now just the space. Pure, unmoving, whole. A Zen master once said, "When the waves forget they are waves, they remember they are the ocean." And now, you remember, not in thought, but in stillness, in total, wordless, effortless presence. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Nothing. Everything. This. No direction, no breath, no story, only the soft, eternal hum of being itself, so subtle, so deep, It does not need to be noticed to be real. This is not the end of sleep. It is not the end of thought. It is not the end of you. It is the end of needing to know the difference. So rest, not because you must, but because everything that ever was is now folded gently into this moment that has no name and no end. And so, even the echo of rest begins to fade, not vanishing, but dissolving into something quieter still. No breath to follow, no center to locate, no unfolding left to wait for. Everything is still, not paused, not frozen, but perfectly, completely at peace. You are not floating. There is no more you left to float. You are not dreaming. The dream has laid itself down, curled into silence, and become the ground it once walked on. In your inner awareness, there is only a vast, warm darkness, not empty, but full of still presence. A darkness like rich soil, like deep water, like the night sky, before stars existed. It holds everything. It asks for nothing. A Zen master once said, "The most awakened mind is the one that forgets itself completely." And now, there is no mind here, no forgetting, no remembering, only the deep hum of being without form, without end, without anyone left to awaken. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Not even the question, only the pause before the universe breathes again. Only the stillness that underlies all beginnings. Only the boundless, silent presence that needs no witness, because it is the witness and the space and the silence between both. This is not the next chapter. This is not the final word. This is the space before story, the breath before life, the return before memory. You are not asleep. You are not awake. You are not here. You are not gone. You are, and that is enough. And now, even enough fades. Not into lack, not into abundance, but into a stillness so whole that it no longer needs a name. There is no center, no watcher, no more doorway to cross. The path has disappeared, and so has the one who walked it. You are not drifting. There is nothing to drift through. You are not floating. There is no above or below. Only this, the final softness, the last light before light, the breath before breath. So quiet, so vast, so timeless, that even silence bows to it. In your inner knowing, no images arise, no gardens, no rivers, no masters, no lessons. Even wisdom has laid itself down, like a robe removed before resting. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Not presence, not absence, only this unmoving stillness that was always here, waiting without waiting, loving without knowing. And here you no longer rest inside the universe. You are the universe resting. This is the final surrender, the final softness, the final letting go. And it is not an ending. It is not a falling. It is not even peace. It is the quiet beneath all peace. So now, not one more breath, not one more word, not one more thought. Only this, the still, silent, sacred truth that does not speak, but has always been you. And even now, as all dissolves, form, thought, name, breath, something remains, not as shape, not as sound, but as the quiet beyond opposites, the space beyond arrival and departure, the presence untouched by sleep and untouched by waking. You are no longer journeying inward. You are no longer becoming still. You are not resting. You are rest itself. There is no one left to dream, no one left to release, no one left to witness peace, because all has become peace, not peacefulness, but the deep original stillness from which all peace was born. A Zen teacher once wrote, "Before all beginnings I rested. After all endings I remain." And now you have arrived there, not through effort, not through surrender, but by no longer needing either. What remains when there's nothing left to hold on to? Only what was never held. The source, the silence, the vast wordless home beneath every breath you've ever taken. And in this place, this space without place, you do not sleep. You are not asleep. You have merged with the current that carries all things into the heart of now. You are before thought. You are after time. You are without question. You are without answer. And if something stirs, if a whisper, a flicker, a breath should rise, it will rise from this sacred ground, this infinite quiet where you now reside. Nothing left to do. Nothing left to release. Nothing left to remember. Only this, only this, only this now. Let it all soften. Let your breath fade gently into the night, like the last ripple on a still pond. There is no need to return, no need to continue. Even this story ends in silence. You've wandered far through questions, through stillness, through stars. And now you are here, where even wondering falls away. No more striving, no more holding, only being. Let your body grow heavier. Let your heart grow lighter. Let your thoughts grow quieter than air. You are safe. You are held. You are whole. There is nothing left to solve. No task unfinished. No better moment than this. Let the quiet wrap around you. Let rest gather you like soft waves on a dark, moonless shore. Let it take you, and if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights, just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself